Goat superhero.
Batman.
Batman's your favorite.
When I was a kid, I've told you this. Aquaman was my favorite.
Yes, that's what you have right. Yeah.
But since then, since I've matured, Batman's has become my favorite. And not like, it's Dark Knight. Christian Bale, Batman.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Who?
The OG.
Adam West?
No, not that OG.
Michael Douglas?
Yeah, no, Michael Keaton.
You know his real name is Michael Douglas?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
But Christian Bale, I'm Batman.
I don't like how he talks like this. It's absolutely annoying. He's one of the greatest actors in the fucking world. But he talks like that. No,
That's a good
I'm not buying that shit, dude.
I like it.
Mine, Lobo. You're welcome.
Was it Friday the 13th? Damn, I should have watched a horror movie. I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
I got tattoos to celebrate.
Did you get a tattoo?
2 tattoos.
Holy shit, dude. What'd you get?
Well, Mike Wazowski
Did you really? That's electric. Where at?
on my ankle.
Nice. That hurt?
Yeah, it didn't feel great.
The one on my ankle fucking hurt. But
Yeah. I mean, it's the third ankle one, so I guess I'm used to,
Gotcha.
to that.
what about the other one?
The cat from Kiki's Delivery Service on the thigh. So joining
Oh yeah, bro.
the collection.
You literally get them yesterday?
Friday the 13th, man. It's a tattoo holiday. Don't you know?
Evidently. That is sick, dude.
Of my whatever 9 or 10 tattoos, I don't even, counting's hard. Like 4 of them are Friday the 13th. So
Yeah. The next one's got to be
Mina's way ahead of me.
like
She
a
got
full
some too.
full Ben Affleck back tat or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm waiting for
What did Mina get?
my Affleck moment, my Phoenix moment, and that's unfortunate because that just counts as one tattoo. But really, it's like,
I mean, technically, I guess, but I mean, just entire back, pretty intense.
what do you think? Should I get some like Hawaiian tribal tattoos? Do you think that'd be appropriate for me?
I mean, hey man, you do you, but I don't know if,
Go full Jason Momoa.
if I'd recommend it.
Probably not a good idea.
I mean, that's a question too. This movie, like, I don't know, where's Dave from? Like, is he an islander?
Listen, we are not the people to be playing police on this. This is a very Hawaiian movie that we're talking about, The Wrecking Crew, today. But it is an interesting thing of like, I don't know if this is, some of the stuff is a little offensive, or maybe it is playing, properly. It's cool to see a movie set and shot in Hawaii. Obviously, you have people like Tamura Morrison, who is a native New Zealand actor. It's a Pacific Islander person. Dave Bautista, he's like Filipino and Greek. Batalon, he's from Hawaii. He was born there. He's a Filipino kid. That's obviously like
That's cool.
mixed into I think the character itself. Jason Momoa is a guy who is from Hawaii, was born there, has some Hawaiian, ancestry in him. And obviously I think he's the driving force of wanting to make a movie like this creatively. It was him and Batista from the jump attached to star in this film, and there was kind of a bidding war in early 2021 who was going to get it, and MGM came out on top. You probably won't be surprised to hear that this was originally supposed to be a David Leitch directed movie. Of course, he's half of the John Wick original crew, but he's gone and directed Bullet Train, The Fall Guy, Deadpool 2. The Fall Guy was the thing that kind of prevented him from being able to make this movie. My big take is that The Wrecking Crew kind of feels like a light John Wick. It's not doing the action as well as David Leitch does, or the John Wick director
Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, like it's not quite up to that par. There is some interesting action. It more often, I think, leans violent and gruesome to kind of just give you like viscera rather than good fight sequences.
I agree. And off the bat, it is cool. I mean, there is kind of that love letter element to Hawaii as a whole. So I think it is handled well, even though, like you said, with Dave specifically, I just don't even care, but who knows?
You're just happy to see him in the movie. He'll play anything.
Of course.
He's your Scarlett Johansson.
He's a Swiss Army knife. And yeah, I think he works well in this as a duo with Jason Momoa. But altogether, like you said, I mean, it is definitely a generic action movie. It's got the Michael Bay-isms, I think, the big explosions, the homoeroticism. I think it's all there of what you expect. There's also a Pearl Harbor mention, which is random, but shout out Michael Bay.
That's where he works. He's a Navy man in Hawaii.
Well, that's funny too. Yeah, his opening shot is like just him hanging out, like at the bottom of a pool. But it's a cool scene.
He's a Navy SEAL, and he takes the water part seriously.
he's training, Navy SEALs as well. And, he's kind of the best one there, obviously. And it's Dave, so I mean, it's believable. But I did like his setup. And then his relationship with Momoa, too, I thought was overall solid. I don't know if Momoa is like the best actor in this movie, but he does action really well. Like you're saying, those violent scenes with Momoa and kind of the Yakuza up front, I thought that was some of the best action in the movie. And it was basically just him like bashing these guys' heads in until they're dead. So overall pretty mid, but I mean it's got Dave and the action's all right. So an okay streamer, I don't think it was worth it for David Leitch to do this over, Fall Guy. I think that was definitely a better usage of his time.
I agree that first fight works with Momoa and the Yakuza guys. I think Dave Bautista and him have a good brawl at one point in this movie.
Yes.
It's pretty intense in the rain. There's some fun stuff there, but having watched it, I feel like most of it is already leaving my head. I watched it this morning and it's like, I'm not going to remember a lot of this. It's paying homage to a lot of stuff. There's an old boy hallway fight sequence that is, just not as good as something like Old Boy or, the million other times that it's been done in movies. It's a little copy and pasty with some stuff.
It takes so many elements from different movies, even one that we've talked about recently, The Rip. I mean, these movies basically have the same opening scene where somebody gets killed, and then it's somebody important to the main characters. So even the setup
streamer vibes
has definitely been seen. But I think this is a movie made for streaming. Other than the chemistry between Dave and Momoa, I don't know if there's a ton really to love here, especially from like a character perspective.
And I just find like the Momoa stuff cringy. Like it doesn't work for me. The humor and the like.
Yeah. What do you think about his relationship arc? Because I feel like the actress I like, Morena Baccarin, but like her
Shout
introduction.
Out to Deadpool again.
Yeah, true. A lot of Deadpool connections in this movie, which makes sense. But her intro is fun, like of her just like leaving well at the beginning of the movie,
right? And him just being a complete asshole, like not speaking Spanish to her when she's Portuguese,
not knowing it's her birthday.
The second she leaves, he's just like, "I'm so horny."
Yeah. So I mean, and I didn't really know if she even needed to come back, but it's funny the way they use her because she comes back to the island because she has,
and then some insane
the
shit
gimmick
happens.
Yeah, and then she turns into a stunt driver and starts drifting a minivan in like a Fast and Furious sequence, which I think is the worst action sequence of the movie too. Like just visually, it looks pretty bad, I would say.
And it's one of those things where it's like, how many fucking people just died?
Yeah,
and nobody really
and innocent people
about like all just people. It's like it just becomes NPC video game attitudes where it's if it's not a main character, you just have to pretend that there's robots driving that car because a bunch of families, little kids,
they take the helicopter down cars. And it takes out like 5 civilians just all in a massive pileup. So
there's like 2 big sequences. There's a huge shootout in like the streets at one point where like a guy does get like straight shot, and killed. And Momoa at the end of the shootout is like, "Hey, call 911. We gotta get an ambulance."
Because he's a cop too, supposedly. Yeah,
bad cop, reservation cop in Oklahoma.
A little crooked, but yeah, I mean, just their vibes on the island though was good enough for me. Like them riding around on motorcycles, I think was fun. Their one-on-one fight in the rain, like it knows it's dumb fun. Momoa gives Dave a wet willy at one point. Like it's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, which is nice. There
is a lot of dick jokes, a lot of talk of penises spinning around. Just show it, Momoa. If you're going to talk about it so much, just let's see some dong action. Let's go full 28 years later.
He's all barking, no bite. Yeah,
right. I mean, come on, like Amazon. I think this movie's got to be rated R already. Why? What are we scared of, Bezos?
I would say it's an easy R. Yeah,
this puritanical culture we live in.
I'm here for it.
More people probably fucking watch it. I'll tell you that. Because I do want to comment, like this movie came out at the end of January. Honestly, for this episode that we're doing today, we funnily paired it with like a box office draft. It's got no reported box office. I don't think anybody really talked about it or is talking about it other than us right now, and with good reason. But it's one that kind of comes and goes on a streaming service and has no impact. It is one of those classic like even if this released in theaters, I feel like it would at least, even if it made no money in theaters, it would have more of a cultural legacy than it will ever have just sitting on Amazon Prime.
Agreed there. It does feel like it really has those like classic, just straight to streamer vibes.
And it's like a January release anyway. Like it's basically
Yeah.
like a Statham movie in January, or like a bad Fast and Furious.
It reminds me of Roadhouse last year, just like a forgettable action movie that, it didn't
Another
make an
Amazon.
impact. It's just forgettable, kind of like you were saying. So I guess Amazon just likes to pump out this kind of material, but I feel like it would do okay in the box office. Like you would think fun action movies like the Fast and Furious movies kind of perform, might be okay. And I mean, the main two do have some box
And
office
last
draw.
weekend there was literally nothing that like
Yeah.
we had a dead spot where it's like we could use something. This weekend, the where we're recording this and after the release, Valentine's, like there's 6 movies coming out. We're getting flooded with a lot of stuff, so we're gonna have more to talk about. But like we found ourselves in a little bit of a weird dead spot in the beginning of the year. That why not throw this out there?
Yeah, because we started off strong. I mean, we've done a lot of good movies that I've enjoyed so far, but we definitely found that lull period, I think, that was due to come eventually. But a lot of stuff exciting to come out, and a lot of stuff obviously we'll talk about today. But yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say on this movie too, shout out Jacob Batalon, just in a random role.
Shout out to his parkour, dude.
What does Moa call him? I think it's Fat Jackie Chan. I think that's the quote. So
Yeah.
that's a fun one. But yeah, just a different role for him. More of just, I guess he is still a sidekick, but he's more just like an asshole action. He's kind of
he's playing like grimy. He used to work for the private investigator. He can get you in, help you out. Maybe
good
not
henchman.
really help you that much.
He's a really good henchman. Yeah, he's a good goon.
Yeah, exactly. He's easy. He's a better version of what a lot of the new Fast and Furious movies I think have tried to do, is bring in these like side characters that can help you get something done. And those movies obviously become much more crowded. But I think Battleon is a fun, as his little parkouring bald self. Gotta love him. Gotta love the representation there as well.
He's got alopecia, man. Shout out to that line too.
Yeah.
Go.
Obviously there's some twisty stuff that happens, super obvious, I think, super telegraphed very on. And the like villain, this Robichaud character, is so forgettable and so weak. It's so nothing. I don't even know who this actor is. I hope to not see him.
He like kind of looks like Justin Trudeau, I feel like.
Klaas Bang. Apologies.
No, that's not the
He's
right
a
name,
Danish
is it?
actor. Okay, so
Justin
he
Thoreau?
was- He came from a Ruben Östlund movie. Who do you think he looks like?
I'm thinking of somebody different, I think. I think that's like the Canadian Prime Minister. What's that guy's name?
Trudeau, yeah. I mean, formerly. He's now Katy Perry's husband. I think they got a new one in there, but
it's Justin something. No, I don't know. I think, yeah, him and Katy Perry broke up.
Did they really? Oh, no.
I did see that, yeah.
Mark Carney is the current Prime Minister of Canada, just for the record. I did want to get that out there. You don't want to spoil too much, but there was a good line about you look like The Rock fucked himself and had twins to Batista and Momoa, obviously.
I think that is right. Justin Thoreau. That's a guy's name in
Fallout. You're thinking of Justin Thoreau, the guy from Mulholland Drive, Beetlejuice.
I haven't seen Beetlejuice, but yeah, it's that guy.
Sure. He does kind of.
He kind of looks like him, doesn't he? That's who I thought he was. But no, he's just some random French guy, I think. So I don't know.
Danish guy. Gotta respect him.
Sure.
He was in
I think the character
Ruben
was French,
Östlund, director of Triangle of Sadness, prior film The Square. He was in that. Apparently he's also in The Northman.
Nice. Northman's a good movie.
But he's very forgettable. I don't know who could you place in there? Any John Wick villain would be better. Like even the boring Russian guy from the first movie is giving us more sauce than
Alfie Allen. I'd put him in there. I think that'd be fun. You could really go any direction. What about Matthew McFadden? Throw him in there. That's good casting.
There you go. Tom. Love it. Mr. Darcy.
What's the quote? The Greg cakes or something? I can't remember.
You have to break some Gregs to make an omelet. And we're going to have to break some Gregs today, Kody. Talking 2026 box office. Hello and welcome back to Kody and Korbin Have a Podcast, the show where two former roommates talk about the big money makers of the year. We're here in February, but I don't think we've really had anything crazy hit yet. I think Send Help is technically the highest grossing movie of the year so far. Wuthering Heights maybe fast on its heels. We will see what happens come the end of this weekend, if it will be on the way or not. But I wanted to start this conversation before we draft 2026 movies. Let's talk about the highest grossing movies of 2025. We haven't decided first pick in the draft, Kody. So if you can give me the top 3 highest grossing movies, I'll let you have your decision if you want to be first or second.
Oh no. Okay. Let me think. So box office is always tricky because I feel like something can get elevated, even though it's really bad and I didn't see it. And I think there might be a couple of those just off the top of my head. How many do I have to get? 3 out of what? 3 out of 5?
Just if you can give me the top 3.
I think Avatar's in there, right?
Avatar is number 3 currently.
Okay.
$1.4 billion.
And then the other crappy one that I didn't see that I think is in there, like Minecraft, like that made a crazy amount of money.
Minecraft sitting at 5, ended up dropping to that. Didn't crack $1 billion.
Wow, I'm actually surprised by that. Okay. Okay, what was the other big blockbusters? Not a lot of Marvel. I don't think there's a Marvel on there. Superman made like 600K.
You did see one of them, and then there's
Jurassic Park, Star Wars. What was like the big? I mean, Sinners didn't make that much. I'm trying to think box office wise. I don't know why I'm blanking. There's no comic book movies this year.
I'm gonna take the first pick from you, Kody. I'm just gonna steal it right from underneath you. If you can't do this.
What about Lilo and Stitch? I mean, your background. That was
that's number 4. Did crack $1 billion.
I'm missing the big ones, but that gave me the first pick, right? Bingo.
No, I said you needed to get the top 3. And so far, you've guessed 3, 4.
I thought it was 3 out of 5. Oh well, that might be blanking after that.
Think China. 2 movies that did huge numbers in China.
Yeah, Jay 2. That's number 1, isn't it?
Yeah, Ne Zha 2, $2.2 billion.
I was kind of bang on, for domestic stuff.
Yeah, the domestic you were all over. And then there is one more movie, another animated film that I do know you saw.
Oh, Zootopia 2? Yeah, that made a lot of money. Yeah, I forgot
Zootopia. Zootopia 2 made $1.8 billion. I will say, domestically, the highest grossing movie domestically solo was a Minecraft movie.
Wow.
Made $400 million here, $424 million.
That's so sad.
Lilo and Stitch, $423 million. So
nice.
Just behind it. And then Zootopia was 3, Avatar 4, Superman 5. But that's just domestic. We're doing worldwide for our box office. So I'm going to run through the 10 just real quick to kind of give us a gauge. Ne Zha 2, Zootopia 2, Avatar Fire and Ash, Lilo and Stitch, a Minecraft movie, Jurassic World Rebirth, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle. Probably said that wrong, definitely. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action film. F1 does make it in.
Surprising.
That's why it had to get that Oscar now. It was in the 10.
Makes sense.
Made so much money. Superman at 10 as only making $618 million. Notably, you have stuff like Wicked for Good, 525 at 12, Mission Impossible at 11, 598. Fantastic Four, the highest Marvel movie on here, at only 521.
Still pretty good though.
Yeah. Detective Chinatown, 1900, which is another big Chinese movie, was the 14th, $500 million. And then the 15th highest grossing movie internationally was The Conjuring with $499 million. So you only had 14 movies over 500 million and only 4 over $1 billion last year. Really interesting to see. I feel like there's a bigger chance this year that we have more over $1 billion and more over 500 million. But I don't know. Something's got to flop. People just aren't going to see everything. So it'll be very curious. Any thoughts about those box office hitters from last year?
I mean, like you said, I think just comparing last year to this year, like I said, it's hard to predict the future, but I think there's a lot more stuff that'll make a lot more money. Looking at that list, I mean, from a box office perspective, I feel like a lot of the big franchise stuff was a little bit disappointing. Wicked and Jurassic Park, and it goes on and on and on. But I think this year maybe the franchises are more lined up to be successful. Just looking at the movies that we'll talk about here, so I think it'll definitely be a more profitable year. Unless something, insanely happens. But I would think a lot more money will be coming in.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. Some of the Jurassic World, 869, definitely formidable. But it's like, most Jurassic movies feel like guaranteed $1 billion. Honestly, it's surprising that it even got that high. Wicked for Good making less than Wicked. That was kind of something that I felt was going to happen, but a lot of people had high expectations for Wicked for Good. Mission Impossible, those have been, on a steep decline. The splitting into two kind of ruined things.
Yeah. It's just like where you're at with the franchise too. Like a lot of those you mentioned, they've already made 10 Mission Impossible movies and 10 Jurassic Park movies. I feel like we're going to talk about like Doomsday, where obviously that's like the 50th movie, but there are other movies that, they're almost at the peak of kind of where they're at in the franchise, I think. So
it's only the 5th Avengers movie, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I guess that is kind of a milestone, the 5th Avengers movie. That's crazy. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of your thoughts on this, because I did kind of go in and do a lot of budget research here.
Okay.
I think it's a big factor. And there are a lot of movies with like a lot higher budgets than I expected, that I probably, we can talk about more after with honorables and stuff. They don't come up, but it is interesting. You dish out a lot of money to make money, obviously, but sometimes you dish it out and I don't know if it's coming back. So I think this will be a fun exercise here.
Like if I look something like Mickey 17, not to call that out specifically, made $133 million. The Ballerina made $137 million. Tron Ares 142. Karate Kids Legends $117 million. Smurfs 124. These are, at one point premier franchises or franchise adjacent. Obviously, Mickey 17 is kind of an outlier there with being an original budgets, an original sci-fi film from an auteur based on a book. We have another similar-ish movie this year. Are we thinking it'll make more or less? I don't know. There's a lot of space for failure. I didn't do as much budget research, interestingly enough, even though that is the wrinkle I wanted to throw in here. The way the game is going to work today is we are each drafting 10 movies, so it's going to be 20 movies total. When we get down to the end, it's going to be tough. And the winner will be determined at the end of the year by taking the final box office of each movie minus its reported budget, whatever we can officially find it. There's going to be a couple numbers floating out there for some of these movies, but we'll agree on a number. I think that seems fair based on what's reported. We'll subtract that from its final box office, total up for our 10, and then that'll be determining a winner. However, in the 10th round, we do have a little bit of a wrinkle, Kody. What's going to be happening? Yeah,
so a fun thing with each of our last pick, we're actually going to pick a movie for each other to put on our team. But obviously, since we're picking it for them, we want a movie that, pretty much is going to bomb. So you can use that pick however you want, but you do get a say in one spot of each other's team here, which I think is fun.
The budget thing, I think, helps for, it'd be easy to just pick some random A24 movies that's going to make like $1 million at the box office. But we want to saddle your person with something that is a high costing film that is not going to make a lot. So, there's also potential that you could give them something that benefits them at the end of the day. So
it could backfire.
It's dangerous.
it's very hard to predict what we'll do. And another big thing too is obviously we're taking, the entire world box office international here. So
true.
I didn't do a ton of research on.
I don't listen. I really do not have any Demon Slayer animated. Yeah. I have no Neja 3s. Like
there probably will be some of those in here.
There is going to be something. Yeah.
Yeah. So good to say that in advance, but yeah, I think it definitely adds a wrinkle of having to think about, will this appeal to the international box office as well when making selections here? So, and especially do with some of these bad movies that I don't want to pick, like they could do okay internationally. So maybe I want to stay away from those. It's a lot to think about.
I do have a long list here of 32 films that I feel like are movies that could be considered box 33. Office contenders, right? Yeah, there you go. 33. I love it. I wonder what the difference is, or if there's anything missing from either of ours.
Probably
beyond that. But we've both participated in the Movie Fantasy League with our friends over at the Rough Cut Retrospective. Shout out to the Gaffer app. If you want to play fantasy movies, go check that out. But I don't know how much of our teams we're going to really be trying to pull from here, because a lot of that is based on how good a movie is going to be, not just its box office. While today, this draft is purely money, which I think it is important to acknowledge is not like the most important thing when it comes to actually being film fans, but it is something that does matter in the whole scheme of the industry and the wheels turning and things getting made. The big movies making a lot of money, you hope allows smaller movies to be made and risks to be taken. This year you had stuff like Weapons and Sinners that lower budgets that did heavily exceed what it cost to make them.
Yeah, and I think the game is almost trying to snipe those as well, of ones that are maybe low budget under the radar that could pop off and go crazy. So I think those are great examples of stuff to look for. And yeah, too, comparing this to like our fantasy teams, I think in the fantasy league, my draft strategy is try to pick movies that I think will be good. That's definitely not my strategy today. My strategy is much different, more of numbers based. So it'll be interesting. I don't think I'm targeting honestly that many of my fantasy team today, but we'll see. We might try to sneak in a couple.
Technically, I did get the first pick there because of your failure.
I didn't even understand the rules of the game, but I did okay. But you can have the first pick. It doesn't matter.
You did do well. This is tough.
It is tough.
It's a lot of weight.
It's not even a great
like
position to be first pick.
No, and I think there's like a tier of like 4 or 5 movies, and it's going to be at that 5th round when we really start playing hard. I'm going to take Toy Story 5, number 1.
Wow, interesting first pick.
I just believe in the power of the Toy Story franchise. I think, what are we, 7 years from the last film in 2019? They've waited an appropriate amount of time. This one is directed by Andrew Stanton, who Wall-E guy, OG Pixar head. I have a lot of faith in him, leading this franchise. Toy Story 4 did make $1 billion. I think you just got to bet on kids movies to be the real pusher. If you look at last year, including Neja, they're all really kids movies, other than Avatar being, an outlier in the top 5. So, and even that, kids went to. There was some sex stuff, some weird. I know you haven't seen it yet, Kody, but there's some mature themes in that film. But it is, technically for children. It's animated-ish. So yeah, Toy Story 5 is going to be my first pick.
I think it's a good pick. I think it's guaranteed the bill almost, which is a good pick early. And like you said, I mean, I didn't love Toy Story 4 personally. I know, definitely a lot of people did enjoy it out there. And it made a crap ton of money, even though it's going, it's tripling down on the legacy sequel side of things. But, I think this one does have a fun concept as well of, the technology age.
It's the iPads, man.
Yeah, it's almost like a necessary legacy sequel. So, not sure of the plot details of how Woody's back with the gang, but it doesn't really matter. So, definitely a good pick. I had that at number 4 in my rankings. So I was definitely looking into it.
A reach, maybe. Was it budget concerns, or you were about $200 million possibly?
It's a safe pick. Yeah, I did have the budget, at 200 mil. There are some other animated movies that, most of their budgets are not that high. But
man, that Hanks and Allen fucking voice budget at this point,
it's worth
probably
it,
taking 50 each.
I probably think that's true, honestly, which is crazy. But yeah, definitely a good pick. I think for my first pick, I'm gonna go Marvel, and I'm gonna go Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's basically guaranteed almost $2 billion at this point. And compared to a different Marvel movie, it just has a lot lower budget that I'm aware of. It was saying it's around like 275, 300 million. So I feel like if it comes in, that 1.5, $2 billion range would be a pretty good moneymaker to have on the squad. And like, it's Spider-Man. I don't know if like there's any scenario that this movie could like fail from a box office perspective, especially when they're putting other kind of Marvel characters in the story as well. But I just think it's like a guaranteed hit. So that would definitely be my first pick.
I think the worry for me is like we still have not seen anything from this movie.
Yeah.
It comes out at the end of July, right? So we've got 5 months until then for sure. But a lot of stuff being kept under wraps. We've seen more Doomsday marketing than this
True.
one. You are right. It's Spider-Man. Looking at the last 2 movies, they both crossed $1 billion. Far From Home 1.1, and of course No Way Home 1.9.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets to that number because it doesn't have Toby and Andrew in it. There was
that
a
we
lot
know of,
and that was like still at a I don't know. I'm worried. It also releases a couple weeks after the Odyssey. If we're thinking that's going to be a box office player, it's a question mark. IMAX screens definitely potentially are going to be limited for it. Definitely potentially. Well said, Korbin. You know what the 3rd highest grossing Spider-Man film is?
I guess probably Spider-Man. Oh, I don't know. Spider-Man 3?
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3.
Should have made it fourth.
$896 million.
Jeez. It's a lot of
And then
money for
Homecoming.
what, 08? Yeah, Homecoming. I don't know. It just like with the other Holland movies, I guess, he was outshined a little bit by the other Spider-Man. So it is more focusing on, on a new story of kind of the reboot. I feel like kind of where people want to see him at. And it's got like Sadie Sink and it'll have surprises and stuff. So I think it'll be a must see, come around the summer.
I just don't even really know what the story is gonna be here. I mean, I guess
it's a brand new day, man.
Jean Grey, like it
I
is a brand new day.
I don't think she is Jean Grey, but that would be sick casting. But yeah, I think it's just like a straight reboot, but it also has all the the returning actors.
Still got Zendaya. Babylon better be there.
Oh, he's there for sure. If he's not there, we riot. But yeah, I think they'll figure it out. And I mean, even if it's not great, it'll still bring in. I think it's another guaranteed bill. So I think it's a safe first round pick.
It is directed by Daniel Destin Cretton. I know a lot of people really loved Wonder Man, which I think he worked heavily on, and Shang-Chi is good as well. So I'm interested to see him taking over the franchise. A live action Spider-Man movie has never made less than $700 million. So you're probably going to be okay at the very least.
Safe bet. Yeah.
I think I'll stick animated here, since I would have gone Spider-Man 2. I agree, and maybe I should have taken it number 1. I'll go Super Mario Galaxy movie. I see that maybe hurts for you a little bit. 1.3 for the last film. It's just so big internationally. This is where this really will play huge. It translates well. Whoever's dubbing over Chris Pratt's voice in other countries, I'm sure they're doing a much better job too. So that explains a lot. I'm actually more excited for this movie than I was the first one. I think the Galaxy stuff is really interesting. Seems to be more cart focused stuff. Benny Safdie's in it as Bowser Jr. Kody.
For some reason,
what can you not want?
Terrible casting there, but yeah, I agree with you. I am more hyped for sure for this
Rosalina, man. They got fucking Captain Marvel in this bitch.
Being a fan of the Galaxy games myself too growing up. I'm definitely excited for it. And yeah, the last one, like you said, it's basically the same budget, like 100 mil-ish, and the first one made 1.3 billion. So I think this one, it honestly does have a decent chance to get to 2. So yeah, I think that's a really good pick. Doubling up on animation, I think is smart early on too. But yeah, that was number 2. I had Spider-Man at 1 and Mario at 2. So I think definitely a good snag there. And it'll probably be really good. So I'm excited for it. But just to double up as well myself, I'll take Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, interesting.
For my second pick. Now the big thing here is it's got a record budget. They're saying it's like $1 billion budget almost.
Well, I guess final number they're going to go with is going to be lower than that, but
I don't know. I think it's already pretty much announced, but
they're probably still going to do some more reshoots, so that number's in flux.
True. Assuming it comes out this year, obviously, which hopefully it does. But so basically, they're saying it probably needs to make $2 billion to make money. I mean, Endgame made $2.7 billion. Obviously, with it being kind of this big cultural milestone movie, I don't know if we'll get up to those lengths. So it is a bit of a risk, but I still think with all the factors of bringing in, the old cast members, the old X-Men, it's obviously Robert Downey Jr. returning to the franchise, Chris Evans as well. So I think obviously there's going to be big draw. It's just, is it going to make enough internationally? But I think it's worth the risk just with the track record of the last movie. And I trust Robert Downey Jr. So I think it'll be good enough to for sure hit that profit mark and probably go, all the way to the moon.
Budget is definitely scary here.
Yeah.
Again, an Avengers movie of the 4 we've had has never made less than 1.395, which is what Avengers Age of Ultron's done. But yeah, the budget, I mean, in-game on this website I've seen, the budget was listed on in-game as 400 million. So
wow. Doubling up on it.
A lot of potential here. We'll see what happens. I figured you would take that over me. Honestly, I was going to leave it for you.
Yeah,
probably you could have waited a couple rounds.
It was worth it.
I'm not going to hate you grabbing it this early. I'm just a hater on that movie, even though I do think I'm
really
going to be
are.
proven wrong, especially just the X-Men draw. I think is going to bring everybody back in.
Yeah. I think it'll go absolutely insane, but hopefully it's just good. I think you're more worried of like it's just not going to be good, which is super fair.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a miracle. We'll see.
Ooh, now I do have I have a tough call here.
I think I know the two that you're looking at here. I'd say go with your heart, man. Go with the one you're gonna love.
Well, I think maybe uh, we're not on the same page here, but
Maybe not.
I'm gonna take the Odyssey.
Yep, that's was what I was thinking you're thinking about.
Okay, fair enough. And then maybe I will love it. It's an interesting thing. Oppenheimer was a huge box office hit, really, like especially considering what
Oh
it
yeah.
was. It was paired with Barbie, and there was the Barbenheimer of it all. Both those movies benefited off of each other, obviously, in that time period. Tenet, take that out. Otherwise, like Nolan, original films, franchise films, whatever it is, he constantly is clearing the check that's being given to him. I would say very rarely is there a bomb in there, and I think this movie is so anticipated. The opening numbers are going to be crazy. The IMAX screens for this are going to be insane. They're like building new 70 millimeter IMAX across the country that are supposed to be open in time for this movie. I don't think it's going to be the biggest hit of the year by any means, but it's crossing $1 billion. And I think it's just going to be the must see event of the summer. It's, fucking one of the oldest stories. It's like you're making the Bible movie, but you're making it good. It's the Odyssey. It's who doesn't know about it?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I am absolutely jacked for this movie. Obviously, just anything Nolan comes out with, that would be the case. But, story wise as well, I think it'll be just kind of something that you have to see on the big screen, which is super cool. I'm a little bit worried about, how long it's going to be and if that'll play a factor. I think obviously early on, it's going to make buku
Oppenheimer,
bucks.
3 hours.
Yeah, but I think Oppenheimer too. I mean, I don't know. They're very different stories. I think the Odyssey might be more of like a
Matt
grueling.
Damon, bigger star than Cillian Murphy.
I mean, Matt Damon's in Oppenheimer too, but I just think it might be a bit of a grueling story that is tough to get through and super emotional. So I don't know how many times you're going to keep going back to see it more and more. But I mean, both of us definitely will. But I just don't know. I don't know if it will get to a bill. I'll say it. So I want to stay a little bit away from it. I figured that you would take it pretty early, but yeah, I mean, it'll still do really well, I think.
Yeah. All right. Your pick, Kody. What are you taking here?
And yeah, what I was talking about, Minions 3 and the Odyssey, the ones that I thought you might be thinking about. So I'll take
there was
Minions
a third movie in there as well that I think I'll probably go if you go Minions here.
I got my eyes on a few others here that I think will make a lot of money, but again, it's the Minions. I mean, the title I believe is Minions and Monsters or Minions versus Monsters.
That was a Super Bowl announcement. Minions and Monsters.
And Monsters, okay.
New Minions though, Kody. Are you aware of this?
I saw that. Yeah, they're changing. No Bob, no Kevin. I don't know the other one, but we're missing out on our boys, man. They deserve better. I guess I mean the last Minions movie kind of had like a bit of a send-off thingy-ish at the end, which is fun. Like world building, bringing back a lot of old characters, but I don't know. This one will still do very, very well, I think, especially internationally. It's got about the same budget as the other ones too, about 100 mil. And yeah, I think it's probably just about guaranteed a bill internationally. So I'll slot it in. You took a couple of the animated ones, and I feel like I can't let you have Minions too. So I'll take that.
Minions: Rise of Gru only made 937 million, which was actually near the bottom of the franchise, beyond the original. But Despicable Me 3 did make $1 billion, and the original Minions, which is the highest grossing film in the franchise, made over $1 billion. So I think there's definitely a potential for over $1 billion. I don't know. It felt like what did Despicable Me 4 made 972. So yeah, it's on the downturn kind of a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, you got to have some sort of minion fatigue at some point, you would think. But I think adding in the monsters, I think it's still up there with like, okay, if it gets 900 mil, like, okay, or 800 mil, like it's still going to be compared to a 100 mil budget, a good investment. So
true.
It's going to make money. I mean,
a little green guy.
Yeah. Actually, I did see that. I don't know if I love him. I feel like they do need a character who actually speaks English. just in the forefront. Otherwise, it's just like, what are we doing the entire movie? So I get it, but little green guy, we don't need him. Too much screen time.
It does appear to be a movie about making movies, maybe. So
Yeah,
we do like that.
we know kids love that. So.
Yeah, who doesn't? I want to pick a movie with a little green guy as well, and I'm going to take Mandalorian and Grogu.
Nice. It's a good pick actually, because I don't know if you know this, but it's got like one of the smallest budgets ever for a Star Wars movie. I think it might have the smallest, 166 mil. So it's actually pretty high on my list, just because I
It's
think
like it almost costs like the equivalent of like a season of television or something.
it's weird. Yeah, I wonder how those aligned with the characters. But I mean, I don't know like how much you're projecting, but I think this is probably making over 500. I would think, even if it's bad. If it's good, I don't even know its ceiling. Like it could make a bill, I think, pretty easily.
Inside of me are two tauntauns, and one of them is, saying that Star Wars is fucking Star Wars, and
Yeah,
baby Yoda, Grogu, is like one of the highest selling pieces of like franchise memorabilia this century. Like that character is fucking permeated the culture in such an insane way. Despite like being hidden from the original Mandalorian release and then having this late run of being merchandised out. So like kids will go see this movie because it has fucking baby Yoda in it. On the other hand, should have been the fourth season of a TV show that, maybe a lot of people didn't watch the third season or the Book of Boba Fett that you needed to watch to understand how the third season was happening. Maybe you're fucking pissed off at the state of Star Wars because of the rise of Skywalker, the last film they released in theaters, which did make $1 billion, was a fucking steaming pile of shit and caused them to be too scared to even release a movie for 7 years. There is that side of things. The non episode adjacent films have struggled a little bit in comparison. If you look at like Solo, a Star Wars movie, Solo, a Star Wars story, which only made 393 million. Rogue One was a success though, with over $1 billion. So Mando and Grogu, it's got kind of made to itself. It's gonna kick off everybody gets out of school and go see a new Star Wars movie for the first time in a long time.
yeah, I think it does have really good placement, which will help it out. So, like I was saying, along with that and the budget being pretty low, I think it's just a safe pick overall. Like I say, even if it is atrociously bad, I think it'll still.
Which it very well might be.
It could be, hopefully not. I'm not a big Pedro guy, but like you said, I think Grogu, if they put him in the spotlight of the movie, it's pretty hard to do it, that bad. So I think it should be okay. And I like too their Super Bowl trailer of kind of making fun of the Clydesdales.
A lot of people really hated that. I saw a
I don't
ton
know
of hate
why.
online.
They just wanted more footage, but I don't need 10 trailers for the Mando movie. Just show me the AT-ATs falling off the cliff once, and I'll probably buy my ticket. But I thought that was a fun thing. So I think they're doing sneaky well with the marketing as well, and I think it probably will be a good hit. So I think that's a solid pick.
Thanks for listening to the episode. You can follow the rest of our happenings over here at Kody and Korbin Have a Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at KHAP Podcasts, KHAPODCAST. Please follow us on Spotify, give us a rating, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow along for more.
Where to go next? I mean, there's just so many subgenres that you can hit on once you get past the massive blockbusters, which I feel like there's still a few left. But I think I will go more for a genre hit here in the fourth round, and I'll take The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Ooh.
Mostly because of just like the crazy buzz that it's been getting, from its trailers and stuff, setting records, even though I don't personally care about it that much. It's got a fairly decent budget. I mean, it's got like 125 mil budget. And I'd be shocked if it's, anywhere near the bill range. I think maybe, 500, 600, hopefully, if it does really well, could be around there. But I think it'll just be a big draw for kind of a different audience from a lot of these movies that we've talked about. And I mean, it's Streep, it's Hathaway, it's Tucci. They're bringing back the cast. It looks good with the trailers. So I think it'll definitely perform well.
And it is the first movie that we have drafted here that like women will actually go see as like a legitimate force. And that is half the fucking population of the world that is not really been tapped into by any of these prior movies. So this one becomes more of a 4-quadrant movie. It's going to be, you know, mothers and daughters. It's going to become more generational as a legacy sequel. Like you said, it's a movie that originally made $326 million. Now here, 20 years later, I think they've waited the appropriate amount of time. It's a fun cast. I think this is a very solid pick. Especially I think the budget, you know, if they're really, they're paying stars. It kind of looks like bad, you know, digital Netflix crap, but
the camera
that's just
work.
all movies now. You can't really expect much more.
I think it is the same director too, isn't that? Which is funny. It does look like very different from just like the original.
We lost film cameras, man.
Yeah, it's sad. But like you said, that's every movie. So other than the Odyssey.
David Frankel, director of both films, Devil Wears Prada 1 and 2. So
nice. Got the OG back. It's got to be good.
I do think there's another movie that's going to make $1 billion. There's maybe 2 potentials out there. I'm going to grab Moana, the live action.
Ooh, gross.
Moana and Frozen have, for like the last 5 years, when you look at like streaming chart numbers, have been consistently in the top 5 most watched movies in the 2020s. Just like repeatedly get watched. Frozen and Moana are like the 2 Disney franchises beyond anything from our time in the 90s or the early 2000s that have just continued to stay in the rotation for modern kids, for adults. The Moana 2 made $1 billion, and that was literally 3 episodes of a TV show that they slapped together and decided to release on theaters on Thanksgiving. This is a live action film. We saw what Lilo and Stitch live action could do last year, you know, cracking the top 5. I think this basically shot for shot live action remake is going to follow suit with How to Train Your Dragon, and as well Lilo and Stitch. It's not going to be like a Snow White. It's going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, I think especially Lilo and Stitch is a really good comparison. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if anybody wants to see it really at this point. I mean, it'll definitely do well for the audience it's going for, obviously. But I mean, it's just like so recent from the sequel, obviously, you know, being last year, and now we're doing a reboot in live action, but it's going to be the exact same story. So I don't know. When does it come out as well? Is it in the middle of
July 10th?
Okay.
So yeah, Odyssey competition.
It's a good spot for it. Actually,
a lot of people on boats come.
Yeah, because you can't take the kids to the Odyssey. So I think it's a good slot. But I hope it doesn't do well. But it's probably a good pick. It was lower on my ratings. I probably wouldn't have ever taken it. But I understand why you would want to.
Odyssey opens the next weekend. Minions and Monsters is the July 4th movie. So
okay. It actually has some competition, actually. Whoever does better out of Minions and Moana might walk away with the win here. But yeah, definitely a solid overall pick. I mean, you got The Rock. I'm sure he's going to go crazy selling it as well. So probably it's probably like the only thing he's doing this year, I think. So probably a good pick there. Okay.
We do have a Jumanji, but I don't know if he's in that
true.
or not.
Yeah, he definitely is. Heck, that might be my last pick. So shout out to that. But last one made a lot of money. But there's still a lot of good stuff left, I think. For my next one, I'm going to stick with kind of my prior pick strategy. Go for a specific audience. I'm going to take Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. The thing with this one is it does have a pretty high budget. Looks like it's around 200 mil. They haven't come out with any final figures because I think it is a little bit higher. I do just think it'll be pretty good as well. It's a bit of a risky pick because Songbirds and Snakes only made like 150 mil, Catching Fire, and then the other last ones I think made around 400-ish. So for me, I feel like this movie could hit 500 pretty easily just because I feel like it does have a lot of interest. But at the same time, with the performance of the last one, it is hard to predict, other than the crowd that it's going for, how much kind of other draw it'll have. But overall, like personally, I'm just excited for it, and I think it will be good, and I think people will go see it. So, again, tapping into a different audience, but I think the Hunger Games is still relevant.
This is definitely Mina's most anticipated film of the year. And you are right that the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, lovely title, of course, was in fact the worst in the franchise. you were around 150 for that domestic mark, and then internationally it made 347.
But also, it kind of sucked. Like, it wasn't very good, I don't
It
think.
wasn't
But
great. It was a prequel. It was all new characters other than Snow, and like, you know, like it's a very like early prequel where it's like you're really not knowing anybody, and Rachel Zegler was playing an entirely new character, whereas this new film is about fucking Haymitch and what happened there. And it's got like a much more I feel like recognizable cast with like McKenna Grace and Elle Fanning in the side roles.
yeah. And everybody loves Woody Harrelson, so I mean,
First of all, people who have read the books, I think, like this book more than Ballads of Sogbort's Sake. So there's just a general, like, within the community hype to see this play out.
It is also an interesting story in the Hunger Games, where it's another kind of quarter quell and it's double the contestants. So like it should be a good Hunger
should
Games
be
as
action packed. I think there is going to be some fun IMAX stuff in this film, which will be interesting to see. Of course, Catching Fire was known for having great IMAX sequences. Catching Fire is the highest grossing of the whole franchise. That was the second one. If you want to think like maybe this is the second of this kind of 2020s reboot of these films coming back, I definitely think there's going to be much more anticipation for this, and just a general people are thinking Hunger Games at the forefront of their mind because it is more recent. And yeah, I agree. It definitely makes more than the last one. Does it crack the other four? Interesting. The lowest one is 646. Mockingjay Part 2.
Nobody saw the first one, but actually I think they did. But yeah, again, it's hard to tell where it's ceiling at. I don't think it's as high as some of these other movies that we've talked about, but should just be like overall like solid, I think. So I'm happy to get it. What is it, the fifth round? I think that is. So I think that's, and yeah, at this point, like there are some steals. I'm kind of assuming the next movie you're going to take here, but I could be way off. But stuff has dropped here for sure, just because I don't know if it will make, buku bucks like some of these others are guaranteed.
Dune's sitting there, man, and it's scary.
The Messiah.
Now, Lisa Nagalib. These films are not necessarily huge box office hits. I think the last one was close to 800 million. And then the first one, weird day and date COVID HBO Max release, but it was in like the 300 range if I'm not mistaken. But it's releasing the same day as Avengers Doomsday. Timmy is a bigger star now for sure. Like he's proven that. I kind of even doubted the Marty Supreme box office, but it's the highest grossing A24 movie ever. It did get over 100. Him at Christmas time is kind of a guaranteed thing, whether it's Wonka, a complete unknown, or like we saw it this year with Marty Supreme. The release of this movie scares me, but I'm gonna take it. I'll go ahead and grab it here in round 6. I think it's fully valid. The budget can't be that crazy high, and I do feel like it's more of the IMAX movie than an Avengers Doomsday is. So there is more potential for like the premium engagement. Even if not as many people are seeing it, the number will be higher because the tickets will cost more.
Yeah. And I think especially coming off of Dune 2 as well, just how good of a freaking movie that is. It'll
I have high expectations for the quality.
Yeah. With Denis at the helm, I mean, the cast is crazy. You're adding in Rob Pat, Florence Pugh is more in a main role. So I think, and Anya Taylor-Joy, I'm assuming, is going to be there too. So it's definitely got the bones to be a really good movie. Like you said, the placement does scare me. And yeah, Dune Part 2, I mean, it made like $700K, but it was also really good. Like, is this movie going to make more? Maybe because it's bouncing off of how good that was, or maybe it makes a little bit less just because of the placement. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, a steal for sure this late, just because, I mean, it's freaking Denis. And it
might be the best movie.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know where it'll come in box office wise. So I think it's a fair spot for it in this draft, but definitely a steal.
Hopefully that guy who saw Dune 2 like 30 times likes this one just as much.
Oh, he'll be back. Don't worry. But, definitely a good pick there. I think this is where it gets a little bit. I think it jumps off of quality, but I'm going to take a risk. I think here, and I'm going to take the movie Michael. Another demographic. I assume you were hoping it would slope a little bit further, but I think this actually does have the potential to make a kind of a lot of money. I feel like this kind of musical biopic genre, there's always one movie a year that does pretty well. And with an icon like Michael Jackson, even though controversial, obviously, I don't know if that's really going to get touched on in the movie at all. So I think it will just be more of a love letter to his music and to kind of that era. And it should probably be solid if they just stick to that. Because I mean, he does have really great music. So just license a few songs, and yeah, it should make a crap ton of money.
I think this movie looks atrocious, and there's a lot of questionable prosthetics and
Yeah.
makeup, and it's got a little bit of a cheapy vibe to it, but it does have the music. It's his nephew, literally Jafar Jackson,
Yeah.
playing the role of Michael. Heavy family involvement here. Gonna be fully a positive look at the character of Michael Jackson rather than anything about the real person underneath, I would say. And there's even been reported legal troubles of them having to recut the movie and cut out the more questionable parts, the more hard-hitting examined aspects, maybe more hagiographic elements. And this is just, I think, going to be Michael Jackson's greatest hits for 2 hours, and that's probably going to make $1 billion fucking dollars. Like,
It's easy
this
to
might
sell.
be the
Yeah.
lowest picked film that does cross $1 billion here. I think now we're out of any movie that has a chance. We've hit them all, in my
Probably.
opinion.
Yeah.
But internationally, this movie could do huge numbers. Bohemian Rhapsody didn't get to $1 billion, but it was pretty damn close. It was in the like 940, 950 range, I think. And Michael Jackson is a bigger deal than Queen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
and
that movie also like
is just the iconicness. It's gonna.
That movie was like, okay, Rami Malek puts on fucking crazy teeth and a dumb costume, and who cares? Everyone's just gonna go listen to it.
They got an Oscar, but no.
Exactly. It's insane.
Good Jafar is in line. Yeah, I thought you might. That was at number 7 for me.
It was my next pick. It was
right next to Devil Wears Prada. I couldn't decide between those two, but I ended up getting both. So shout out to Dune, baby.
So you held off well, yeah. The Dune being there, you
I'm surprised it slipped. Yeah, I thought for sure you were going to be on it. So I'm happy I got it.
I do think it becomes a lot more difficult here now. Three slots to pick for myself left. I'm gonna take Project Hail Mary here. I am nice. Gonna risk it.
I like that
a little bit. I think let's see. The Martian, I think, made over $500 million.
I think it made I don't think that's right. I think it made like 300, 400 in that range.
630 million
international
worldwide for The Martian.
That is pretty good.
Starring Matt Damon in the
year 2015. It's a very comparable movie too, I feel like.
Both adapted from books written by Andy Weir is really where I'm pulling from. Obviously, that's Ridley Scott directing, kind of in a weird place. Him, coming off of like Prometheus, so on a comeback, but you never know what you're going to get with Scott. This is now Chris Lord and Phil Miller. Did I say that wrong?
I think you mixed it up.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
They probably don't care.
Who did the 20? Person. Right? Yeah, they are a duo. They're the Coen brothers, basically. They're on a scale of Russo to Coen brothers, they're, I guess, right in the middle, maybe.
What about Safdie? No,
that's like okay. Maybe it's a square. So you put the Safdies at the top, Coen brothers at the bottom, Russo's on the left, or
the Daniels. The Daniels are on the left.
Daniels in the left. Oh, now we're getting into the duos. But regardless, they haven't directed a movie since 22 Jump Street, and this is their return. Obviously, they produced the Spider-Verse films and gotten a lot of credit for that. Whether that's credit because they like have run a insane, maniacal, awful set where they like yell at people and make them work 30 hours, or maybe just because they're true creatives. I don't know. But they got kicked off Solo. They didn't get a chance to make their big budget sci-fi film. This is their chance to redeem that with Ryan Gosling. I really love this book. It is a book I actually did read last year, 2 years ago, maybe. I'm a huge fan of Andy Weir as a writer. He does an incredible job of like capturing real world science and applying it to fiction, things that could happen. It's the best sort of science fiction. And it's going to be Gosling in a not to spoil, but it is in the trailers a rock alien creature for a good majority of the runtime. So maybe a hard sell, but a great story.
So it's kind of like Spaceman, the Adam Sandler spider movie.
Or it did rip it off from Spaceman. This guy will talk.
Spaceman did it first. But yeah, I'm pumped for this. Like you said, obviously Lord and Miller, I'm just big fans of them. Was definitely pretty high up on my list. Yeah, I mean, budget-wise, it's at 150 mil, so they're definitely putting money into it as well. I think it'll look beautiful. You know, Gosling as the lead, I think makes sense. So
the closest release we have here, it releases in like a month from now, in March. Amazon MGM movie, which is a little scary. Obviously, it is getting a full theatrical release, IMAX 70 mil. It's even playing here at the Music Box in Chicago on just a straight 70 millimeter print. So like there is kind of a film appreciation side that is going to go out. The contingent is going to go see this film. I don't know. I hope it's good.
What it's definitely going to come down to. So hopefully it is just solid, and I think it'll do well if so. But definitely a fun pick. Like you said, I think there is a bit of a drop off here. You can go kind of a lot of different places. I'm thinking I'm going to go chalk, and I will pick one that's on my fantasy team. And let's go Supergirl. Coming off Superman, that made about, $600K, which is pretty solid. So I would think, I don't know if it'll do that much. Budget-wise, it's a little bit higher too. It's looking like it's under 200K, but not really specified after that. So probably like 150, 170. I think it'll probably just like double up on that, which should be solid numbers on my team. But also I'm excited for it, and I think it should be good. Millie Alcock, I think, is pretty perfect casting, and James Gunn has been super high about her, saying that's like his best casting of all time. So, and it's got crypto. I mean, you're doubling down on crypto, so I think that'll bring in people as well.
Baby crypto.
Hopefully. Crypto. I want to see crypto with a family. I think
they debuted the trailer at the Puppy Bowl rather than the Super Bowl.
Genius marketing. So I think it'll be good, and I think it should bring in a lot of money. So I think it's a steal for this late round.
I'm worried about this film a little bit. It doesn't make as much as Superman, right? Like there's not a world where it does. I hate to say that, but
I think it should. I honestly don't think Superman was like, it's not even close to James Gunn's like best movie. I think
but I just mean it was fucking super. It was called Superman, and it was kind of a disappointment. Like it made $600 million. It's hard to say that's a disappointment.
I mean, it was
one of the lower grossing Superman films of this century.
Yeah, I mean, it's also rebooting an entire universe. So
right, and this is the like next thing in that, and I don't know if it's not.
I think it's just difficult.
Less people are going to be interested than Superman. To me, 660 is like the ceiling,
which is still fine. I mean, on a 200K budget or below 200K, like that's still a decent profit. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think too, just like with the circumstances of coming off of such a shitty ending of the DCU, like you really have to make a couple of good movies in a row, to kind of convince people to keep coming back out to kind of these DC movies. So I think that was a great first step with Superman. And hopefully, like I said, like I think James Gunn just be a little bit more focused, like with the story and on this character versus in Superman. It was just so much shit thrown at you. So I think hopefully this is just like a great movie, which will obviously translate to more money, I think.
Obviously not directed by James Gunn, but it feels James Gunny in all the trailers. Oh, yeah. Curious to see if what Craig Gillespie brings to this.
He's officially gone into his Kevin Feige mode. But it's his movie still in my eyes. So we'll see.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, Supergirl. I'm going to take Fokker-in-Law, which is a movie on my fantasy team as well.
You are high.
I think this is being heavily underrated. I think it's going to be a big hit. It's like really the only movie coming out at Thanksgiving that's, to me, that families will go see. We do have a Disney animated film, but I think that's going to be one of those like stinker nothing burger movies. Sunrise on the Weeping is the week before, and then there's also going to be the whole Narnia thing going on, but I think it's got the end of November, early December, maybe even going into the Christmas season of like, families seeing this one together. It's going to be multi-generational. It's a legacy sequel. I think it's Devil Wears Prada 2 adjacent. Like once we get a trailer, I think people are going to watch it. Be fun to see De Niro in a potentially good movie again.
Yeah, I think Stiller is pretty high in people's opinions right now too.
Well, and
So
Ariana Grande too. Like they're
yeah,
bringing in probably like if you
that's
could
big
pick
time.
anybody other than like as a female star to join this film, a young up and coming actress, it's like you get Zendaya or Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I
and
mean,
for comedy, we know Ariana can do it.
that's the only thing I am kind of worried about too, is just like the comedy box office, like where it's as a whole.
Sure.
This could be kind of like a reemergence of that market, if it is really good. And but yeah, I don't know. It is just one that's hard to predict. It does have a pretty big budget too. I think it's like 150 mil, like similar to a Project Hail Mary. Um, and a lot of that I think is just the star power. Obviously, they're bringing it in, but again, it's like I'm excited to see it, but I don't know how much money it'll make. So we'll see. But definitely a fun pick, I think.
Meet the Parents in the year 2000 made $330 million. And then Meet the Fockers in 2004 made $500 million. And then Little Fockers in 2010 made 310. So,
Wow, Little Fockers. That's a lot.
Maybe 310 is the
right.
floor for this. I would take, and I think it'll probably go higher. So
yeah, I do just think like those first two movies are really good. So maybe that plays into Little Fockers, that success.
I think this is also a similar thing where it's creative team coming back from the original.
I believe it. I think that's correct too. So, if they're coming back, obviously, I think they have a story that they like. So it should be solid. And like I said, Ben Stiller, I think right now is actually on a pretty good streak of kind of stuff with Severance and everything. I feel like he produces has quality to it. So I'm excited to see it for sure. Okay, not a ton left. What do we have? Do you have one pick left? And I have two.
I've got one more for myself.
Okay, I still have two. Okay. I think with my next one, I mean, you just mentioned her. She's got the box office draw with Zendaya. I think I'm going to take The Drama, which is an A24 movie with Rob Pat as well. And one of the main reasons I want to take this too is on Letterboxd, it's one of the most anticipated movies. So I think that market of like actual moviegoers are pretty excited for this. And then just the box office draw of both of those stars, I think could be pretty high. Also, it's only got a $30 million budget. It is A24. So I feel like at least one or two of those do pop off and do pretty well throughout the year. Yeah, I'm just overall excited for it. And I think it could be pretty good.
I do think you might have just lost the draft with that pick.
Really?
I just think it's the A24 of it all. It can only be so big. Marty Supreme just became the highest grossing one ever, and it's at 149 million. Like, yes, we are seeing a trend of those movies making more money, and you usually get one or two that's over 100 now at this rate. But that's pretty minimal, I would say. And yes, there's a lot of anticipation, but I think it's more letterbox anticipation than it is like the average just person going to see this movie. It's a niche crowd.
For sure. I mean, so is Sinners as well. But it is very hard to predict at this point. So you could definitely be right. But
I don't think this will bomb. It will make more than its budget. So at the very least, it's like not a dangerous pick.
Yeah, I think it's fairly safe. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the potential it has isn't as high as a lot of these other movies that we'll pick. I don't think, anything beyond 200, I'd be shocked. I think it'll definitely be below that in general. But with a smaller budget and a great cast, I would think it'll probably make 100 pretty easily in my eyes.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. I got one last pick here before I throw something to you. And do I continue to flesh out the animation on my team? Maybe, or do I go pure auteurist? I don't know. That's the question.
I mean, there's some animation left, but not anything too great.
Well, there's a couple of
there's a Pixar flick. I mean, yeah, and there's a Illumination movie. There's definitely some animated out there still.
I don't know what you're referencing.
Cat in the Hat. I know that's on your radar, man. Come
Easy
on,
Billy.
Don't want that.
Fuck it. Give me Disclosure Day. Who cares?
Oh, interesting. I've seen on that they don't even know the budget, but it's high. That's the only
figure
report.
it out. It'll come out.
The quote was, "It's a high budget blockbuster." I'm worried about this movie. I don't know if anybody's going to go see it, to be completely honest. Like, the trailers haven't impressed me, I feel like, personally. just because they're not revealing anything, which is fine. But I don't know. I like the cast, clearly. Josh O'Connor's great, Emily Blunt. But I don't know. For some reason, I just don't feel confident about this movie.
He hasn't really made a big blockbustery type movie since Ready Player One, which, was rather successful. It made $748 million in 2018. I believe in this film. I'm obviously investing a lot.
That was so easy to sell, though. Like the trailer, just like one scene in that movie, and it's like, okay, we get it. For this one, it's like I don't even know what
Aliens,
this is.
Man. Super Bowl trailer was sick. They showed us a UFO. What more do you need?
Well, I mean, I don't need anything personally, but I'm just saying other people, they see the Iron Giant walking by, they're like, shit, I'll go see that. But just like, shots of hidden aliens, I don't know if it sells as much as some of his other stuff.
I don't know. He's directed 17 films that have grossed over $500 million of his 34. So
how much did The Fabelmans
we'll
make?
see.
Actually, probably did pretty good.
It is his third lowest grossing film,
Okay.
beyond his two first films. So his debut, Duel, and the Sugarland Express, and then The Fabelmans are the three bottom.
I feel like this one too reminds me of like the BFG. Like it gives me those vibes for some reason.
Well, the BFG made $261 million. So
that's shocking, actually. So yeah, the ceiling is still probably pretty high. Even if it is bad, but all right, it's a fun pick. It should be good.
Might be the highest grossing original movie of the year.
I would love that personally. Last pick for me, there is still some fun stuff left. I think the main two I'm looking at is Werewolf in Narnia. I was trying to read up on Narnia. I mean, the budget is a lot. It's like over 200K, but it is getting like a 2-week, it seems like just IMAX release.
Yeah.
So that really scares me. I wish it was longer before kind of it dropped on Netflix. So I think I will just take Werewolf. It does have a really small budget too. It's at like 25 mil, and Nosferatu made like 180. So I don't know if it'll make that much. I'm hoping for like maybe, the 150 range, would still be pretty good money, kind of overall. But yeah, I mean, past that, we can talk about some honorable mentions, but there's just not a ton that I'm super confident in. I guess I could take like, the new Jumanji movie or Scary Movie 6 or something like that, where it'll probably make money. But I feel like just like the Christmas horror audience, it's going to be there. And Robert Eggers is on fire. So I do trust him just as, creatively as well.
Yeah, he's starting to become a name in himself,
Yeah.
in a really fun way. And I do think this probably is in the Nosferatu range. It's like werewolf as a title is probably just as easy to sell as Nosferatu. Like, I don't know. Obviously the SpongeBob boost was there, but
just for you. But
now we get to draft a movie to each other's teams before we throw out any honorable mentions here. And I have a feeling I know what movie you're going to try and give me.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I'm going to give you The Bride.
Nice. Okay. It's got a big budget. It's got 100 mil budget, and it's opening against Hoppers in March.
I bet it does not make $100 million.
I don't think so.
I'm kind of interested to see this film.
Yeah, it could be good,
but I just think it's got a really weird trailer. It's also coming out in March. Going to probably play against like Project Hail Mary. Nobody's really talking about it or interested. It's the second Frankenstein movie we've got in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's the reason they pushed it to this year. And even then, I don't think it's going to have much of an impact.
I think that's the biggest thing for me too, is like we just saw, a Frankenstein movie. It was nominated for Best Picture, pretty well respected. So to see kind of, another quick, obviously very different iteration, it seems. And the cast is great. I mean, Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale as the main duo is awesome. And you got, even Jake Gyllenhaal in there. And I guess, I don't know if Maggie Gyllenhaal, she's crazy proven as a director. Could be wrong in that. I don't know if I've even seen any movie directed by her. She's in
mostly small indie films. I mean,
Stranger in
like
Fiction.
Netflix, I think was her last film, was a Netflix film, technically.
I'm excited to see it, but yeah, it just does seem like a pretty high budget, and I don't even know if it'll make it back. So I think it'll be a good pick, but obviously I will be heavily rooting for it now. So maybe I'll see it a couple times in theaters. But add that to the squad.
It does have an IMAX. It is being IMAX released. but it's like a week before.
And
Hail
it's
Mary
early in
comes
the
out,
year.
I think
It could be a sleeper hit if it's like really good. Jesse Buckley coming off an Oscar probably. So, and hell,
That's the thing. I mean, if the Oscars are the week after this movie comes out, so
Yeah.
if they should push it 2 weeks so they can throw a couple
Yeah.
trailers out with Oscar winner Jesse Buckley on.
True. I'm sure once she wins, it'll go
It'll
instantly.
probably
on
be
the
out of
TV ads.
theaters already. That's my hope by giving it to you. But Peaky Blinders also releases the same weekend, the movie, so everyone's
Ooh.
going to be at home watching that on
True.
Netflix.
Nobody's going to the theaters that weekend anyways. That's funny. All right. My pick for you. I don't know what you're expecting from me, but I'm gonna give you Masters of the Universe, I think,
Yeah.
for sure.
100%, because you've been hating, and I think this is going to be a hit.
No, I don't think so. A $200 million budget, pretty high. I mean, that's a lot of money. And you got Jared Leto, as Skeletor. I'm not gonna see it. I don't think anybody's gonna see it. I don't
But
know
he's like, the thing is, you can't tell he's Jared Leto because he's Skeletor, like he's a
Right.
skeleton man.
Well, it's his
so.
voice still, so I mean, he's
Sure.
still there. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know who wants this really. I know there is some Masters of the Universe fan out there, but I feel like a lot of them are probably dead by now.
Well, they've recently done a updated animated show, so there is like a new legion of fans, I believe. And
you're one of them, evidently. But
I'm not, honestly.
Yeah,
but...
I just think with the volume of the budget on this one, I don't think it'll make that back. So I think that's just my thought process. And internationally, it could do okay. Some of the other movies I was thinking of is like Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter, but I feel like those will probably do actually decently international just because of the video game popularity. So with this one, the IP is not as strong, so that's kind of why I was leaning, Masters. I have the power. Hopefully they don't have the power to make any money, but we'll see.
He-Man is him. That's all I'll say. Let's just hit honorable mentions on top of that. Movies that we were maybe considering drafting that we thought were going to be good. Hoppers was the animated one that I was referencing, which
yeah, and it's coming out soon. It's projected
early March
to do pretty well. I mean, it's just a Pixar movie. Like it's got $150 million budget. It'll probably make over 300. So it just depends. I didn't love the trailers, so that's kind of why I stayed away from it. Just the concept I don't think is great, but I think it might struggle, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the original Pixar is like your Elementals that did end up crossing 500, but that was because it was like weirdly popular in South Korea and had a bonus contingent of money there that it otherwise didn't really see anywhere else. So like maybe there'll be something that about Hoppers that like the Canadians love it or something. I don't know.
True.
But
they probably love beavers more than us, but
yeah.
I mean, Elio still made like 150 mil too, even though like it's
True.
not top
Elio was
Pixar.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if it's mid, and it's Pixar, so I assume it's not going to be complete crap. Like it'll probably be fine.
No, I'm sure it won't be a bad movie by any means, but I was also thinking, in the video game realm with the Street Fighters and all that, but Resident Evil is intriguing. I'm not really sure where that, because like the prior Resident Evil movies are hard to judge it against because they are basically like schlocky, like B movies. Let's see, what's the highest grossing?
Yeah, I mean, and we didn't pick a ton of horror out there either. I mean, you have your
coming off Weapons, it's like, there's a potential there.
Yeah, there's definitely a market, I think.
Krager is a force. Worldwide 314 for Resident Evil, the final chapter in 2017.
Okay. Okay.
Mostly in the range of 100 to 200 million. I will say the most recent one, which was a 2021 release, so COVID, did only make $41 million. But this is entirely new creative team. And I think that one, even because all those, the original run was the Paul W.S. Anderson, Mila Jovovich. Those were all kind of the same run. This 2021 one was like another reboot. So separate thing. It didn't do well. Zach Krager's coming in to do a fun reboot. I think there's a potential there.
Yeah, great creative team for sure that I'm excited to see. And again, a small budget. It's only got around like 20 mil reported. So a lot of movies like that with like Evil Dead Burn, Ready or Not 2, even Scream 7,
horror,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of those is probably going to pop off and do really well.
Clayface?
With a small budget. Yeah, Clayface too. I mean, only a 40 mil budget. If Supergirl is really good and then this is also great, It could definitely do well. I think that would be fun. Just some other genres too, like A24 movies. I think could be solid. How to Make a Killing is one I wanted to bring up, just because it is like one of the highest A24 budgets in history. It's got $70 million budget. Um, and coming off of Glenn Powell's bombing with The Running Man, I think that'll be super interesting. And then Mother Mary too. That movie only has a $15 million budget. So if that's great, Anne Hathaway's like kind of the actress of the year. I feel like that could maybe pop off and kind of go crazy too. But down in the honor rolls, it's I feel like either a massive budget, like you have the Narnia movies, you have Digger, which is $125 million budget. Like this stuff could be really good, but it's just like they're throwing a lot of money at it, and I just don't know if it's gonna kind of have that return back.
Yeah, there's some real questionable stuff there. Sense and Sensibility is one that I think will be like maybe a potential sleeper hit. Daisy Edgar Jones, and again, just like tapping into an audience that come August might not have other movies to go see. It'll be a fun one that you can go on a date to. Wildwood, which again, that's the stuff on my fantasy team, but like if that's good, there's like a chance that everybody goes to like Coraline, like amazing stop motion animation, or maybe it's bad and no one cares. I don't know. It's like somewhere in between. Budget on that, I guess, is probably a little high or hard to gauge because it's been worked on for so many years and it's stop motion and all that. Jumanji 4 could be a potential. The Cat in the Hat, I think, there's a world where it's either Smurfs and it makes literally like $4 or it's a huge ass hit because it's Dr. Seuss.
I think people love the franchise too. So I think that definitely has potential to be in that sleeper category. Another one too that's on my social team, The Social Reckoning, sequel to The Social Network. I mean that could pop off if it's really good. It only got a $50 million budget-ish, so fairly low, but I mean there's a lot of other just like IP that hasn't been around for a while, so I don't know what the general interest will be. There's probably one or two here that probably will go pretty crazy at the box office.
We seem so far from a time when something like The Social Reckoning could be a hit, but it's a sequel to a film that made $224 million worldwide. So, there's a world. Who knows? Narnia, it's only going to be out for 2 weeks. It's unfortunate. Something like Cliff Booth, what would that have made if it actually got a theatrical release? It's not getting one, of course. Not that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was like a huge hit by any means, but
probably the best Super Bowl trailer, though, I would say.
True.
Cliff Booth.
I will agree with that. Definitely got me the most hype. So, fuck streaming services. What more can you say?
I bag it. Fuck Netflix, man. Give us the Narnia we want in theaters.
I think our teams are close. It's gonna be one in rounds, 6 through 10. So we'll see what happens.
I am disappointed I did not get Super Mario Galaxy, to be completely honest. That was probably the one I wanted most. And you took Mando early. I think we do have pretty solid comparable teams. I think it'll come down to Moana and Hunger Games, honestly. If Moana puts up crazy numbers, you're probably gonna win, but I really just hope that doesn't do anything. That's gonna make me very sad if that's one of the highest grossing movies.
I think Michael is your potential golden ticket to the top.
I think that was definitely a steal. Round 6. I mean, my last 3 picks too could go completely off the rails, and I think same with yours as well. So I think,
luckily, I don't think any of Supergirl might be the one that hurts you the most because, like, drama and werewolf.
Yeah, Supergirl's the biggest risk.
Budgets for drama and werewolf are definitely lower than the budgets for Father-in-Law and Disclosure Day, like easily. So
I think Disclosure Day is the most, maybe the riskiest pick in the draft because it could do really well. But I feel like it could just bomb for some reason, and it's got an insane budget, evidently. So that's definitely one I'll be keeping my eyes on as well.
And then Physical Media Corner, we're shouting out the two stories of success.
Oh hell yeah, weapons
at the 2025 box office, which I have obtained officially now, Kody.
You're quick on it.
We got winners. It's called year. Sinners, and it's Weapons. They're winners together.
Couple of my favorites of the year. I think that's 2 and 3 or 2 and 4 on my list. So yeah, shout out Weapons, man. I mean that, like we're saying, there's going to be movies like that, that we didn't pick here today that are going to be like in hindsight, like, man, why the hell did we not take Jumanji forward? It made $3 billion. but that's what makes it fun.
Why the hell did we not draft this weekend's film GOAT, which is going to make
True.
$10 billion?
I'm actually very excited to see GOAT. That would have been a better mini review than The Wrecking Crew, which, by the way, has like the most forgettable title of all time. I had to keep looking it up online because I couldn't remember the title.
One is just like an offhanded comment that's made to them. It's like, you guys are such a wrecking crew when you come here. You're like, all right, calm down.
One of the worst roll credits moments of all time, but yeah.
Stop doing this wrecking crew shit. That's what the line is. I wrote that down. Yeah.
Classic.
Well, next week, we're going to be back with a GOAT review, Kody? No,
I'm down.
I think some Wuthering Heights talk maybe will do us well.
We'll have to think about what to pair that with, but yeah, should be a fun episode if we're doing that. So maybe like we already talked about Saltburn. We can go like crazy something. Yeah, I don't know if I'm excited to watch Wuthering, so definitely tune in for that.
Yeah. Well, catch us next week with those thoughts, and peace.
Stay capping. Bye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.